The events in the Middle East are, of course, of great interest to South Asia and certainly to people like myself who are deeply involved with civil society movements, with the realization of human rights, with peaceful protest. All of these things are vital to encourage. But with my particular accent, I would say a particular accent on the word peaceful, because once that is lost, then it becomes very, very difficult to justify, even if you have a very just cause. I think that Gandhi, in a very difficult time, almost perfected, because the outcome was so amazing. The loss of colonialism or the leaving of the jewel in the crown, so to speak, which must have been a hard thing to do. But many other things combined, I guess. But yes, the long struggle, and I think more than the long struggle of Gandhi and the notion of peaceful protest was the value that underlay it. You remember, right in the middle of this struggle, when the struggle was gaining impetus and momentum, he stopped it dead in its tracks because one police station was burnt down by enthusiasts. And he said, if that's going to be the way of it, I'm not doing it. That took a tremendous amount of character. And I think that those who know the history and have seen that struggle transform into South Africa, into Martin Luther King, and now into the young people who are making a statement by making themselves vulnerable in the open, but not resorting to violence. I think that's a tremendous evolution of what peaceful protest is about. Yes, because participation of people, active participation of people, is also one of the core values of human rights, that people should have voice, people should be included, that governments, even elected governments, are not the sole representatives of people, that elections don't validate 4 years of bad rule. You have to give voice to people throughout that period. So from that point of view, yes, the Middle Eastern struggle does do that. But how that struggle plays itself out and what its outcomes are, because not all popular movements or all majoritarian movements necessarily lead to more just outcomes. And I think this is something that I am cautious and concerned about. I think it is a sign of the times that there are so many young women who are shoulder to shoulder with their men. But it is not the young women and men who then sit down to making constitutions, but rather it is the different centers of power within societies that then sit down and negotiate. And in the negotiations and at that famous constitutional moment, I have seen that for the so-called greater good, women are often compromised. Women's position, their rights, their aspirations, and very often they come out second best, second-class citizens. They are told to wait, they are told to be patient. I think that that in itself, to me, is the destruction of all that has been fought for. Because if you can't stand up at that moment for the principle of equality, then you're no better than the last regime.